Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan Martinez, and today I want to talk to you about something that honestly made me a little uncomfortable: controversy. When I learned that the speech had to be persuasive, I wasn't excited. Choosing a topic wasn't easy either, and I actually had to talk to my mom for help. I was visiting home, and as a Texas governor professor herself in San Antonio, she recommended I talk about the death penalty in Texas. Now, at first, I didn't know how to feel. I came from a law enforcement family, and the death penalty was always one of those topics we didn't talk about too deeply. It was just kind of accepted as part of the justice system. But I started looking into it, and I realized that there were a lot of things most people, and myself included, had never really talked about or even thought about when it came to the death penalty. It's not just about punishing the worst criminals. It's about how fairly the system works, whether innocent people are being put at risk or there might be a better way to do so. After doing some research and reflecting on what I found, I believe the death penalty should be banned from Texas. Why? Because it suffers from a serious credibility issue that are too many wrongfully convicted. We also have a more cost effective and alternative available. Now let's start looking into it by the issues of credibility. Champagne and colleagues report that the black males that make up only 13% of the total population of Texas, but they account for a staggering 46% of people who have been executed. That's not only just a statistics, it's a red flag. Whenever one group that is disproportionately affected by the harsh punishments possible, we have to question whether the system is fair at all. Champagne also explains that Harris County, where Houston is located, which has the largest black community population, sentenced more people to the death than any other county in Texas. Pitcher states that in the report that since 1973, Harris County alone has accumulated 25% of the state's entire death row population. That's more disturbing that is about 50% of those individuals are black males, even though black people only make up 20% of the county's population. So, what does this tell us? It suggests that the applicants of the death penalty is not just flawed but racially skewed. This isn't about questioning whether some crimes are horrific or whether victims deserve justice. They do, but if justice is only served for some people and not for others, then it's not justice at all. And it gets worse. Just about who is getting sentenced. It's about whether those people who are even guilty are in the first place. Let's move on to the next major problem of the death penalty: wrongful convictions. We all make mistakes. That's just kind of being part of human. But when the justice system makes a mistake in the death penalty case, it can be reversed. More reports that in 1973, 16 people in Texas were sentenced to death were later exonerated, meaning that they were proven innocent. Imagine that. You're sitting in death row, possibly just weeks from execution, and you didn't even commit a crime. Pitcher also states that in her report that nationwide 441 people have been exonerated after being wrongfully convicted since 1989. The number is terrifying, and all those just are the ones we know about. People whose innocent was discovered at the time. What about the people that we missed? What if someone we had already executed and only later does the truth come out? We can't rewind death. There's no fixing that kind of error, even when the best legal system in the world makes mistakes. But death penalty doesn't give us the room to correct them. Imagine how you would feel if your brother, your cousin, or even your best friend was falsely accused, and then the system was moving full speed towards an irreversible sentence. It's a nightmare scenario, and it's happening more often than we would like to admit to ourselves. Now, maybe some people think, well, even if the death penalty is risky, it's only the only way to keep society safe. But that's not actually true. Let's talk about a safer, smarter, and much cheaper alternative: life without parole. Now, Lucero notes that in 2005, Texas Governor Rick Perry signed Senate Bill 60, which allowed courts to sentence people to life in prison without the possibility of parole. This sentence kept dangerous individuals out of society permanently, but it also creates room for justice to be corrected if something changes. If someone is later proven innocent, they can be released. That's a safer net. That's a safer net the death penalty just doesn't have. The Texas Correlation to Abolish the Death Penalty reports that the average cost of a single death penalty trial in Texas is $2.3 million. Now, compare that to the cost of sentencing someone to life without parole, which is estimated to only about $75,000. Think about how many people we could help with the money saved from just one death penalty case. We could fund mental health programs, provide better defense attorneys for low-income defendants, or invest in education. All these things might actually prevent crimes in the first place. And from one moral standpoint, life without parole still holds criminals fully accountable, but it doesn't risk executing someone who might be innocent. So let's take a step back and recap what we covered. Because after looking at all the facts, the reasons to ban the death penalty in Texas really starts to stack up. Champaign has shown us the death penalty is Texas applied is racially based way, especially against black men. Mora and Pitcher made it clear and wrongful conviction are not just only rare exceptions, they are a recurring problem. Lucera and the Texas Correlation to Abolish the Death Penalty has proven that life without parole is far more cost-effective and reversible option, the one that still delivers justice. Now, I know some of you may disagree, and I respect that. That this is not a black and white issue. There is a good argument on both sides, but I hope that after hearing this, you reconsider how we view capital punishment at this state. One justice system that should be built on fairness, truth, and the ability to correct its mistakes. The death penalty falls on all three counts. So I leave you with this. The next time you hear a case involving the death penalty in Texas, I hope you think about what you've heard today, not only about the crimes, but about the system behind the punishment. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.